how to sell your product using stories. And here are three stories about this topic. You want more people to enjoy your products. If that's the case, you're exactly in the right place because we are talking about popular topics around this theme. And in the end, we're going to go through tips that are actionable within 5 minutes. My name is Alan, and I am from northstories.io. And here are the three stories. Number one, navigating offline events. Number two, social media for software developers. Three, how long does it take for content marketing to work? Let's proceed with story number one. At a business event, how do you introduce yourself? The thing about offline relationships is they're powerful in a unique way, especially if you are in B2B. Deals and referrals are quickly created in a way that you wouldn't experience if the relationship was purely through chat. Now, how do you navigate live events like meetups or conferences? A big thing to remember right here is your pitch offline should be the same exact story that you deliver online. So in a way, it doesn't really matter if we're talking about your activities offline or online. But we can easily ask this question. It's easier to imagine real events when we introduce ourselves and our products. Like, how would you engage with a stranger within the first 2 minutes? A top answer for this question is to get the other person to talk about themselves. And here's my 5-minute tip for getting the ball rolling. For you to take action on getting your prospects, your potential partners, you wanna be at meetups first. So I invite you to go to meetup.com or browse through Facebook events or Eventbrite and then book a meetup. Super easy, super quick. You might find your co-founder or your business partner or your next big customer. Alright, story number two. Social media for a software developer. How should developers stay active on social? A big question here is about your audience. Are we talking about your potential clients, like businesses who need your software engineering services? Or do you want to grow a following with your fellow software developers? Here's the thing, there's a massive difference between those two different audiences. Business people don't want you to go too technical with them because that's exactly what they're hiring you for. Software engineers want you to go as technical as possible. So, to get the ball rolling, the 5-minute tip is to Google buyer persona template. There are many templates like this online. A great example is the one made by HubSpot, and then you fill this template. This just easily gets you in the position where you are actually thinking about the audience and not just, I want to grow my social media following. You should always begin with your audience. Alright, story number 3. How long did it take before content marketing produced results that you personally noticed? We started this discussion and we're getting good amount of engagement very quickly. The thing about content marketing is it is more like farming rather than hunting. You're not going out to hunt for food for today's dinner. You're more like harvesting massive results that will feed an entire town. It's an investment. Now, what is a noticeable effect that you might get from content marketing? It can be awareness or traffic or maybe sales. At NorthStories.io, we believe in web content because that is exactly how we produce our sales. But let's talk about the community's responses to the question. And typically, they talk about 8 weeks or as early as 3 months. And experts say that, for example, SEO can take 6 months to multiple years before it actually works. Now, we can get the ball rolling in a very powerful way here. You don't have to wait for 2 years. Here's a very strong trick. Go to a popular forum. Look for a place where there's a lot of upvotes, likes, and replies. That's a key ingredient here. And then post. And then within an hour, you can see if people are liking your stuff. The key thing here is to piggyback on very popular communities. If you post on your blog, chances are you're not getting so many eyeballs, so you can't expect way too much engagement. But in a typical big Reddit community, there's a bunch of people online the entire day. If you go to Quora, you can add 5 tags, 10 tags to a question, and then hundreds of people will see your question. Hundreds of people will see your answer within 30 minutes. You can also go to large Facebook groups, and immediately you will get noticeable results, even just for validating your idea. For example, you have an answer to a question, you can observe if a certain kind of answer tends to get upvoted versus others. So the idea here is to get rapid feedback and to change your perception of what metrics to track. Ultimately, sales would close the loop, but you can look at the small steps and monitor engagement to influence your behavior. Alright, recap time. Here are the 3 5-minute tips. Tip number 1, you want to browse through meetups and then you want to book it. Very easy. You might find your next customer there. And it's a very worthwhile way to spend your time versus watching yet another TV show. Number 2, Google the buyer persona template. There's tens, if not hundreds of them. Fill it just to get a reminder of who your audience is and how you want to engage with them. And finally, select a super high traffic, high engagement forum and then monitor your upvotes. Based on the upvote, keep on doing what you just did because it tends to work. It is your turn. Please commit with one of the 3 5-minute actions, and then let me know through Twitter. My name is at Alan Kaeg. This has been Alan from NorthStories.io, and keep up over here.